I'm going to be playing a Lord of the Rings Saga campaign. And this is the first quest, A Shadow in the Past. I'm going to be using the entire card pool along with cards from that are fan-made from a long extended party. On the left, I'm going to be using a mono lore victory display deck. The heroes are Thurndir, Falcoboffin, and a Fatty Bulger. The Frodo I'm going to be using is from the Mountain of Fire, where each planning phase you can exhaust the ring to give a character one resource. On the left, the deck I'm going to be using is a Hobbit deck, and the main focus is to get Rosie Cotton a hero. The heroes are Sam, Gamgee, Spirit Mary, and Lore Pippin. I'm going to be using these pipe tokens as exhaustion tokens, and the ring to show that I've used its ability. Let's draw our cards. I've set Buckleberry aside out of play and added the Black Riders to the staging area and made Vagan the active location. Victory display deck. This is good. It's got some nice cards that you can get rid of cards and put them in the victory display. For the Hobbit deck, there are 5 cards because of Gandalf's delay. This is a nice deck. It's got Rosie Cotton already in it, a Scout Ahead, and some 2 cards that are good for high test. We add 1 resource to each hero's resource pool. Now take our first turn. I have gather information from Thurndir. Victory display goes first. It's the first player token. Another Keen's Lances, so that will work out good when I get a lot of cards in the victory display. I'm going to play Out of the Wild. I'm in secrecy, so it only costs me 1. Make a victory display over here on the right. Spend 1 resource. And I don't like the Hunting for the Ring, so I'm going to add that to the victory display. Shuffle these back into the deck. Gather information. And then I'm going to put out Halfling Bounder. Now it's a Hobbit's deck's turn. Draw a card. Heed the Dream. I'm going to play Scout Ahead. And I'm going to use Frodo's ability to give Mary a resource. I'm going to play an Unexpected Courage on Frodo. Let's go to the quest. I'm going to be sending Thurndir to the quest. Halfling Bounder. And Frodo Baggins. And on the Hobbit deck, it's going to be sending Sam Gamgee. It's a total of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And at the moment, the staging area has 4. Card 1, Pathless Country. Card 2, the Marish. That is a total of 9. So I quested unsuccessfully by 1, raised each player's threat by 1. But that's fine because you don't want to rush to this quest. Now, end of the turn, raise each player's threat by 1. Add a resource to each player's resource pool. Move all the exhaustion tokens. The Hobbit deck. Draw a nice card for questing. Now I'm going to play Rosy Cotton. And use Frodo's ability to give Merry another resource. Spend Merry's resources to play another Unexpected Courage. I'm going to put this on Thurindir. Now we're going to go over to the Victory Displays deck. Another Halfling Bounder. I'm going to play a Master of the Forge. I'm going to exhaust and reveal the top 5 cards of my deck for a location. Well, that's nice. Resourceful. And I can still play it for the discount because I'm still in secrecy. I'm going to put the resourceful on Thurindir. Now let's start questing. I'm going to quest for 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, and the staging area at the moment has 9. First, starting with the Hunting for the Ring, Doom 2. And starting with the last player, each player does a high test. I'm going to exhaust Thurindir for 2 and Fatty for 3. What do you get? 1, 2, 3. So I passed that test. Now the Hobbit deck is going to exhaust Frodo and Merry for a total of 4. 3 is the total, and we passed that test. Card number 2 is Piercing Cry. Search the deck for a Black Rider. That brings the total in the staging area to 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. 13 to 12. I'm going to use Rosie's ability to give Sam 2 more willpower to raise my willpower up to 14. So I quest successfully by 1. So going to the next round. Raise each player's threat by 1. Draw a card. Give each character a resource. This is nice for card draw. I'm going to play it right now. This is a proxy for Halfling Determination. I get to draw 3 Hobbit heroes, so I can draw 3 cards. These are both nice to keep threat down the staging area. And each of my heroes gets +1 willpower until the end of the round. I'm going to play the Legacy Blade onto Mary. And I'm going to exhaust the Master of the Forge to search the top 5 cards on my deck for attachment. That's nice, the Fellowship of the Ring. I'm going to use Frodo's ability to give himself a resource. I'm going to play the Fellowship of the Ring. That gives all heroes +1 willpower. Now let's go over to the Hobbit deck. Got some nice card draw. And now let's go to the quest. So I'm going to exhaust Zerndir for 4. Falco for 8. Halfling Bounder for 9. Frodo for 13. Sam for 16. And Pippin for 19. At the moment, the victors in the staging area, there's a total of 13. Now I'm going to be going towards gather information. Card number 1, another piercing cry. Got to search the deck for Black Riders. Now card number 2, another stock road. So that brings the staging area to 4, 8, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. requested unsuccessful by 1, but I'm going to exhaust Rosie, increase Sam's threat by willpower by 2 to make his quest successful by 1. Now let's go to the next round. Raise each player's threat by 1. Give each hero a resource. I have a deck. Heed the Dream. Going to play out Hennis for 4. Now I'll go over to the Victory Display deck. Got a Scout Ahead. Going to put out a Halfling Bounder. Now let's go to the quest. I'm going to be playing a Gildor's Consul. You're only getting to revealing 1 card a turn. I'm going to quest for 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. 21, 22, 23. And the 1 card revealed is Road Like the Wind. Road Like the Gale. And I'm just going to cancel that. Discard. Oh, I can't. There's not a side quest yet in the Victory Display. So gain Surge. And now, crawling towards them. Hide 2. That is for the Hobbit deck. We're going to send Frodo for 3. And it's a total of 2. So we passed that one. Now the staging area has 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Actually, it's 2 more, so I have to exhaust Rosie to give Frodo 2 willpower to make it so it's a total of 5 to 4. Staging area has 20. I quested for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25. And It leaves me with 5. I put 1 on bag end. So the Hobbit deck gets to draw 4 cards. It's a nice victory display. Red book, readying, and victory display gets to draw 2 cards. And I quest successfully. So I can look at the top 5 cards of my deck for an action. I'm going to get the Staff of Levithron. Now I can quest a success. I quest it through the gather information, so each deck gets to look for a card in their deck. Hobbit decks, you can get a Sword Thane to make Rosie a hero. And the victory display deck is going to get out the Great Hunt to start getting rid of those Black Riders. Also, well, exhaust Master of the Forge to look at the top 5 cards. Victory displays deck for a attachment, and it whiffs. I'm not going to travel anyway. I'm going to travel to the Pathless Country. And now, during the combat phase, I'm going to be playing the Great Hunt. And discard one of these Black Riders. Now let's go to the next round. Raise each player's threat by 1. Victory display draws a card. Evening Star. And I'm going to exhaust the Master of the Forge, the top 5 cards of my deck. And I got the Scroll of Isildur. Give everybody a resource. And I'm going to play the Scroll of Isildur on Falco. And Zerindir should have an extra willpower because of the victory display. So, gather information. Now the Hobbit deck, Fast Hitch. I'm going to spend 4 to make Rosie a hero. I'm going to put a Fast Hitch onto Rosie. I'm going to put a Unexpected Courage under Rosie. Let's go to the quest. I'm going to be going to Scout Ahead. Questing for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. In the staging area, there is a total of 4, 8, 11, 14. First card, reveal. Black Steed. Attached to a Nazgul. Second, another Black Steed. Stock Road. Last card is Green Hill Country. So we had a total of 5, bringing the staging spread up to 19. So I have a total of plus 5. But I'm going to add Rosie's benefit to Sam. And that's another 3, so I'm up to plus 8. Three gets put on the Pathless Country, exploring that. And 4 goes on to the Scout Ahead, exploring that. Another resource, the Thurndir. Search the top 5 cards of my deck for an attachment. Take Fireside Song. Now we're going to search the top 6 cards of the main deck and add 1 to the victory display and put the rest back in any order. I'm going to be crawling towards them into the victory display. I'm not going to be engaging any enemies. Right now, I could travel to there. I would need a high test of 4. So I'm going to make these 2 the high test. 1. Now I'm going to do a high test to travel to the Stock Road. And that location stays in the staging area until you've done the high test, so the plus 2 affects this high test. I'm going to be exhausting Frodo for 3 and Fatty for 5. And I reveal 0. So it's a total of 4, so I pass that one. Now I'm going to be playing the Scroll of Isildur and play the Great Hunt again. So this goes to the bottom of my deck, and I discard a Black Rider. Let's go to the next round. Raise each player's threat by 1. Each player character resource. I'm going to draw a card and Frodo's Intuition. Going back to the beginning, this is the card that I was using as a proxy for Frodo's Intuition. Now I'm going to play Frodo's Intuition and draw 5 cards. Song of Healing, Test of Will, Northern Tracker, Hasty Stroke, and this is a proxy for Keena's Lances. I'm going to use Frodo's ability to give a resource to Sam. Actually, I'm going to give the resource to Mary. And I'm going to play the Red Book West March and attach that to Mary. Now each willpower. Attach that to Mary. You'll see later on that I forget to put a resource on her every time. I'm going to play a Fast Hitch onto Mary. And leave a resource off for a Test of Will. I'm going to go over to the Victory Displays deck. Doors Closed. Now that's a nice card to have. I'm not going to play anything, but I am going to exhaust Keena's Master of the Forge to look at the top 5 cards of my deck. Sourceful. The only problem is I'm out of secrecy now. Now I'm going to go on the main quest. We're going to quest for 4. 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 24, cards for 24. And we're revealing this. That's 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. And I'm going to discard a Halfling Bounder to cancel the when revealed effects of the Rode Like a Gale. Now we quest is successfully by 5. Clear the stock road. I'm going to play a Leave No Trace and add that to the victory display. Now we, oh rats, I forgot you had to search the deck. We go to the next phase. Black Rider. Now we have to do a high test. And I have to look at the top 5 cards for an attachment for questing successfully. I'm going to take the Song of Hope. And, towards the high test, I'm going to send Mary for 4. Frodo for 8. Reveal the top 2 cards. So it's already starting at 3. Well, that's a bummer, but it helps out. And it's a total of 5, so I passed that. Now I'm going to travel to the Marish. Now we go to the next stage. Raise each player's threat by 1. Draw a card. Weep No More. And now I'm going to play a Woodland Sentry. Each player gets a resource. Each of their heroes. And now there is a stock road in the victory display. And I can add any enemy or locations in the victory display and discard it from play. So I'm going to pick the stock road. There are now 5 non-victory display cards in the victory display. So I'm going to add this to the victory display and draw 3 cards. Now I'm going to play the Frodo's Intuition and draw 1, 2, 3 cards. It's more card draw and more location control. Search the top 5 cards of my deck for attachment. It takes a fast hitch. I'm going to attach that to Falco. Now on Hobbit's deck, draw a card. I'm going to play. I'm going to use the ring ability to add resource to Mary, and then I'm going to play a Northern Tracker. I'll get rid of those locations. Play a Song of Hope onto Rosie. And I'm going to play Keena's Lances. It costs 0. Lower my threat by 4 down to 25. Play another Keen's Lances, lower my threat by 4 more. Down to 21. Now I'm going to try to see if I can push as hard as I can to get through this. I'm going to quest for 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, and add Rosie to make 32. And now in the staging area, there's a total of 13. I got to put a resource in each location. And I am going to play a Gildor's Consul. So we only revealed 1 card. A Hunting for the Ring. I'm going to play a Doors Closed, because there's a Hunting for the Ring in the victory display. So this cancels its effect and is discarded. So there was nothing that was out of the victory space, so I quested successfully by 19. 4 gets put on the active location, clearing that leaves 15, and I only needed 14 to go through. So now we go to the next stage. Escape to Buckland. Add Buckleberry Ferry to the staging area. And search the deck for a Black Rider and add it to the staging area. Now we have to do a hide test. I'm going to send Thurindir for 5. Falco for 8. Total of 0. So we passed that test. 4 progress onto the Marish for passing the high test. And now I'm going to play the Evening Star. Put 2 progress on any location in the staging area. I'm going to put 2 progress onto the Green Hill Country, exploring that. Now there's no other locations in the victory display. So I'm going to travel to in the staging area. So I'm going to travel to the Buckleberry Ferry and do a hide 3 test and send Frodo. That's 4, and I'm going to add Mary now to add 4 more, so that's 8. It's 2, 2, so we pass that. And now we're going to go to the next stage, and I'm going to play Peace and Thought for the Hobbit deck. So I can exhaust 2 characters and draw 5 cards. I also quested successfully, going back to that, so I could search the top 5 cards. Draw 5 cards. Frodo's Intuition, Elven Light, Out of the Wild, Calabrian Stone, Song Wisdom. Add 1 resource to each resource pool. Now I am going to play, I'm going to add Frodo's ability to add 1 resource to himself. And then I'm going to play Frodo's Intuition. You to draw 5 cards. Oh, Gaffer came around. All these cards. Play the Calabrian Stone onto Rosie. Play Fast Hitch onto Pippin. Go over to the victory display deck. Gildor's Console. I can play Keena's Lances to draw 3 cards. Play Mithrandir's Advice to draw 3 more cards. Play another Mithrandir's Advice to draw 3 more cards. Play Keen's Lances to draw 3 more cards. Search the top 5 cards of my deck. An attachment. Whiff. Now let's see, with all these cards, is there anything to play? I think I'm going to get to questing. So I'm going to quest for 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43. And then I'm going to play a Gildor's Consul, and we reveal one less card. And there's only 12 in the staging area. Purge, raise my threat by 3. And a Crow. Reduce threat by 3 with Mary's ability. Hurt by 2. And add 2 to the victory display, so the staging area, so that makes 14. And I quested successfully by 30. 9 goes here, and that explores it, so that's a win. And you can see how I have so much card draw. I could have drawn 3 more with Mithrandir's advice. I didn't play any of my Peace and Thoughts. Now, get to the end. I get to choose Gandalf's Delay, or the ring draws them and adds them to the campaign pool. Then I get to choose Gildor and Glorian or Mr. Underhill and add one of those to the campaign pool. And the 2 MVPs for this quest was the Fast Hitch for the Victory Display deck and Rosie. I'm going to add the ring draws them to the Victory Display. The ring draws them to my campaign pool and get rid of Gandalf's Delay, because this can always whiff and I like card draw. And of the boons, I'm going to add Gildor and Glorian to the campaign pool, and Mr. Underhill I'm going to remove. As you can see, I didn't engage one enemy this game, so Mr. Underhill was no help. I can stay with my own name. So of the total, I had ended with a score. I had lasted for 7 rounds. So that was a total of 60. Plus 19 is 79. Plus 29 is 89, 90, 118. Minus 2. So 116. Thank you, folks, and I'm going to be playing the Old Forest coming up. Have a nice day. Bye.